Computer, begin recording. Hello there, gamers! I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another episode of... I can't really do anything on this screen to twist around or whatever. Star Trek Resurgence here on Orange Ranger Plays. Last time we had a very long episode as we really went through a bunch of non-interactive plot. But basically, we are preparing not the Resurgence, it's not the name of the show. The name of the game is not the name of the ship. The ship is the Resolute. We were preparing the Resolute to go to the Hotari system to help with negotiations between two warring factions, but disaster nearly struck as they were getting the ship ready to go. An ion storm sent out a pulse that ended up injuring one of our playable characters, Petty Officer Carter Diaz, and our other playable character, First Officer Commander Jara Rydek, had to disobey her captain in the way that they solved the problem to not get those crewmen killed, although Carter Diaz again was injured. And then a redhead confessed her feelings for him, and he's got to think about that. And now we have arrived in the Hotari system in an asteroid field where we apparently are meeting this ambassador, this diplomat that is going to help with the mission. So we have to locate them by rotating the left stick. Whee! There he is. Found him.
I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Whee!
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering.
Whee! Oh, the shuttle's from the Excelsior.
Can't get it any clearer. We won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening. Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Tractor beam! Shuttles actually dock with the assistance of docking beams anyway. Hello.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Ah!
Yes, sir. You sure?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm sure.
Now I'm doing front flips! Whee!
Come on, Diaz.
Why can't you do it then?
First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
Why did you get me for this if you don't think I can do it? Wee, 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 wee. Gotcha. The Grayson. That's cute. That's a rock.
I'm on it.
Use the tractor beam to deflect the asteroids. Fire! Okay, and then this one. And then up. That one. I need that one to go that way. Okay. Uh-oh. Got that one.
That's gonna take out the shuttle.
Here's the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Then ram it into the
Commander Rydek,
shields.
Plot an intercept course.
On it.
Or ram it with the ship. Go hit that thing. What? Oh, go.
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Say really quick, three-dimensional Star Trek, uh-oh, that's probably gonna hit. Yep.
Got it.
Oh, that was it. Three-dimensional Star Trek
Someone's working hard on
navigation
the bridge.
is done in a horizontal circle by a vertical circle. Straight forward is 0 Mark 0. So 53 is a little... Oh, refocus tractor beam. Okay. And pull it that way. We yoink ship. 53 is a little bit over to the right. And then 17 is a little bit up. Now you know. 3-dimensional navigation. They explained that actually in a very early episode of TNG.
Got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job.
We
On our
did
way down
it.
to meet them.
Who's on the shuttle? Who's our senior diplomat? Is it Farrah Fawcett? Is it Sting from WCW?
I don't know. Could it be Dennis Hopper? Meryl Streep, Dennis Hopper? Or Meryl Streep? Those are your answers. TikTok.
It's
Terra firma, so to speak.
Ambassador Spock.
Ambassador Spock.
Let's go walk up to him. Hi. You gotta take the opportunity to meet legends.
The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Good. I'm glad. That's very logical, sir. You, logic, sorry for the rough landing.
Apologies for the landing, Ambassador. I was operating the tractor beam.
That's the first
sir.
time I've selected X,
I
by
take
the
responsibility.
way. I think.
Our arrival was the smoothest part of our journey. Your artistry with a tractor beam is commendable.
High praise from a
We
Vulcan.
thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space. But it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense
You should probably be
ionic
walking with
activity.
him.
Storm has been pretty intense.
It's a pretty bad
There
storm.
was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed
Unable to form a
no
warp
faults
field.
or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Probably the storm?
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Hey,
Remember that
greetings.
Spock was a
Run
science
some
officer.
additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical. Petty Officer,
Carter Diaz. Sir.
thank you.
Ambassador
Spock,
Spock.
nice.
Excuse me.
I'm
Okay, bye.
honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
Okay, so I find myself a little ill-prepared for this moment. This is something that is a big point in talking about this game. And I have to look it up on my phone here really quick. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's what's happening. Okay, a provocation to war. This, by the way, is a cutscene
Ambassador Spock,
that
my senior staff.
was heavily advertised for the game, especially since it has Spock in it. Okay.
It's not every day that a captain
And I
gets
think
to
I'll bring up
welcome
my
a
point
Starfleet
afterwards, but I
legend
found the
aboard.
piece of information I was looking for.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
That's a little pedantic, Spock.
Didn't mean to
A
suggest
legend
you were
can still be
stuck in
focused on the
past.
present.
You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Your experience comes from the past. But
I
our
picked the
present
choice that they picked in
situation
the
calls
trailer.
for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed. And the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour.
Pretty light.
Alydia and Hotari.
Lydia and
The Alydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon.
Tau is the moon of Hotari.
It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Alydians have shared a mining operation there. The Alydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Alydians from their system.
The workers have revolted.
That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
Now I'm going to go outside what was chosen in the trailer because I have the other question.
Have the Alydians retaliated against the Hotari? Or taken any action against them?
Surprisingly, they have not yet responded in kind. They were open to a Federation presence.
That's
But
interesting.
it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Alydian fleet in open war.
Why are they so
Left
quick to
unchecked,
negotiate
this conflict will
if they
result
could
in
just
more
take things
bloodshed,
over? Probably
which
because
is
they
what
don't want
we're
to
here
work.
to prevent.
They don't want to kill the garbage
Lithium
men.
trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both
Still
profit from the
exploitation.
mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing.
Something is better
Peace
than
is
nothing?
our
Excuse
objective,
me?
After all.
We can call it profitable or mutually beneficial, but at the end of the day, the Hotari are still being exploited for their own resources.
True peace is not merely the absence of war. And as such, this conflict will
The
surely
opposite of
come
war
again.
isn't peace, it's
Neither the
creation.
Alydians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we
Let
can't
me
make
blend,
them do
right?
anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Alydians as a source of dilithium.
Oh, good. We're not really unbiased in
That
this.
certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
We're not going to be trusted.
That means the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other.
That doesn't mean they're going to
Any
trust
suggestion
us.
otherwise would compromise our position.
It's not a
Given
suggestion,
the
it's just the
Federation's
truth.
involvement in the
Spock liked
Alydian
that.
dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in
I
these
didn't know I could
negotiations.
influence my relationship with Spock.
What worries
That's
me is
interesting.
if this whole thing unravels and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the ion storm has done to our ship and the ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Alydian fleet
What
has
is
had
in your
problems with it
ears?
as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander
Huh.
Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past.
Perfect
But
storm.
they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
That may answer why the Hotari were able to strike back after so long. They finally had an opportunity, and they took it.
That would also explain the Alydians' restraint.
And reason to learn
Maybe the
as
storm's
much about
messing
the
with
energy
them
anomaly as we can
in ways that
while we
keep
are
them
here.
from
We
responding.
do not want to be caught at a disadvantage of our own. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're
Spock's
operating
like,
on a
we're done
strict
here.
timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our
I was
systems
about to ask where we
investigate
are.
the anomaly
but
from
we're
here
in the
while we're
asteroid
gone.
field.
Hi, Captain.
Oh wait, no, we're at warp.
Dismissed.
Look, it's out the window. We're leaving for negotiations
I want to
shortly.
speak to
We're
both of
at
you
warp.
privately.
Where are we going now?
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as
Spock about to
representatives
engage
of
in
the
a little bit of
Federation.
cowboy
But
diplomacy.
someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe Maybe that helps in this case. It would be unconventional.
Whatever it
I'm
takes.
perfectly happy to work outside the lines.
And by extension, you will be doing your duty.
Just not too far outside the lines.
Shut up.
Well, I hope Commander
Spock
Rydek
liked
will
that
have
too.
more luck finding out what really happened than we will
Nice.
through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
Well, all right then. Let's do. I really want a little walkie around opportunity. I don't want the story to move on. Well, we've arrived at a place. Because I have something to talk about. Navigational complexities. That is not a very good title. Hi. Oh, there she is. She doesn't look happy.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock.
I mean, we were chit-chatting.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
Oh, good, I get to
I'm
work with her.
surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with.
I want to
am
do
not
it.
the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
The ambassador asked me to take a look, and I'm ready to crack this thing open.
Good. You could learn from Mr. Diaz's focus.
Hey, leave her alone.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
It
Whoa.
seems like he's warming up to us.
Well, he liked that.
Yeah.
Even Chovok has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit that I owe you one. You were right to make me go first. I don't know what I was thinking.
You don't know me.
You did the smart thing.
You've pulled me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of
Her
Sorian
hand's
brandy you're still on the hook for.
Ooh.
But first, we have work to do.
Why are you scanning me? Consoles just appear out of nowhere when you need them.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
It's like Discovery's programmable matter, but just this is a little. Okay, and move hand, press button. Move hand, press button. Diagnostic.
So, I know about your talk with Miranda.
The hell?
You do?
She
Why?
sent me a priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation.
Oh, girl talk.
Yes or no, that's one thing. But I can't believe you said you needed to think about it.
You are the reason I need
I
to
did
think
need
about it.
Well, you can't leave this unsettled. It's not fair to her. She was direct with you. Didn't play games. Neither should you.
I didn't think you'd approve.
Well, honestly, I was worried you wouldn't approve of, you know, fraternization with...
Don't make this about me.
Yeah, I
You can see where this goes between you two, or you can stay friends. But don't screw this up. I like my friends, and I like our group. I don't want to lose that.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Is that thing done?
Yeah, it's wrapping up.
That was a question
See,
without a question
the
mark.
relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
He was doing backflips
Well,
and
maybe the
stuff.
ship's
I think
data
he was just
recorder can
having
tell us
fun.
something.
Data recorder. Boop. Whoop. Boop.
Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Well, let's take a look. This one. The warp
There
cascade
was a
failure.
complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
This one. The warp field
Warp
inversion.
field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
And this one. Subspace variance out of tolerance.
Variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
You're the engineer.
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
It was all around it.
Cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code. Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
That's those lights turning pink.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Sounds like I'll have to pick one to check.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other.
I'll
Not
check
overcomplicate
the
this. One of
warp
these
coils.
systems is likely broken.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
Your tricorder can record and analyze data. Looking through it will reveal the unseen. Press square to equip or holster your tricorder. Hold R2 to scan glowing objects. You must be close to some objects to scan them. Watch the frame of the screen to see if you're too far away. Okay, well, let's take out the tricorder. Where, coil? Ah, green thing. Scan. Out of range. Anomaly targeted. Some objects you scan will activate a deep scan. During a deep scan, use L1 and R1 to switch between different scan modes and search for glowing objects. The mode indicators on the tricorder will blink if there's an object defined in that mode. When you've scanned all objects the frame will change color. Hold L2 to analyze the data and finish the scan. Okay, so he's moving on his own. Okay, there's something in chem. So scan that. The center coils guide the warp field through its focal event, maintaining a collimated thrust vector. No fractures. Okay, well, how about bio mode? No, there's something... oh, okay, so there's these ones. The leading coils show evidence of routine maintenance to repair microabrasion from neutrino. Oh, there's something in rad now. In their standby state, warp coils produce a residual electromagnetic field. No deviations detected. So then R2 to L2 to complete scan.
I checked every coil on the port nacelle for imbalances. If any coil in either engine were cracked, I would have detected it. So, it must be the navigation array.
Except it's not.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
How did I know?
Readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Here's Miranda. Okay, am I gonna have, like, I want to get with Nilly.
Hey, going planet side?
Yep. As soon as the negotiating
But it sounds like
down
she
from the bridge.
wants me to go after Miranda.
And you've got your hands full, opening every compartment on this shuttle.
I mean,
I hope
cute
you're not
redhead.
just trying to keep busy to avoid thinking about some other
Okay,
things.
don't guilt me.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. And lucky for you, I've got a ride to catch.
I've been thinking.
Believe me, I've been thinking.
Don't think too hard about it. It shouldn't be that complicated to sort out.
Do you see her?
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares. Right.
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
All aboard.
I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
All aboard. All aboard just means...
You don't want to miss your train.
All aboard just means all aboard.
I do have to go. So, you've had time to think. You have something you want to say to me?
Fine, I like you.
The train is leaving the station.
I do want to do a romance thing. I just wanted it to be with Nilly. Maybe we can be poly?
That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Save some of that for when I get back.
You've got a deal.
I will say, a kiss is somewhat non-committal.
Be seeing you.
Don't die. That would suck. Of course she liked that. Nilly did not like it, which is what I was afraid of. Lower deck stallions.
Yes. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
We
So
hadn't
the warp
figured out a
coils and the
dang thing.
navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You want to take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it.
Don't get flirty with me now.
Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now.
Right stick.
Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
Maybe the conditions changed.
The subspace variance was a momentary occurrence.
Yeah.
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Graviton ripples!
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory
Sound
for
like
now.
tasty potato chips.
Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
Okay,
we
let
need
me
the
hit the stick
conditions of
again.
space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
That moment
Computer,
right there.
why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure return non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
Non-orthogonal.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless...
Unless space is the problem.
Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Up.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2. 0.3. Warp pressure is destabilizing. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane
All
formula
the same
results are
issues.
undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the
Bingo.
shuttle just
What's his
happened
name
to
out?
us.
Farmer had a dog.
The Resolute will not sustain warp.
Resolute can't warp
leave
either.
Hotari space.
Yes, you could. You just have to go at impulse. You are sending a shuttle down there in those conditions, though. That's probably not great. We're going down to an alien planet. We're gonna go talk to the people about not doing a war or something, so we can still have some dilithium to make our warp engines go. Seat of Power. Now that's a title.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solano, welcome to Hotari.
Hello.
We are honored you've come. My name is Tylos Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydick, first officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Alydians.
We're honored to be here as representatives of the Federation.
I'm so glad.
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation.
Not
The reigning authority
exactly,
in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen.
Hotari, they're
But
kind of...
either way, we're grateful
What?
you've made the time
No,
to
they
come to our
look...
little
That
corner
looks
of
like
the
an
universe.
Alydian.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Heroes? Oh, so these all must be the Hotari. Oh, these are the Alydians. Woo!
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
If you'll excuse me.
I'm gonna go kick him in the head. Jara be like, and I'll help.
I think we're about to begin.
Listen up, listen in. Let me begin.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here, but that guy was something.
He certainly seems full of himself. No missing that. You could probably see it from orbit.
What a piece of work.
Remember, we are here at their invitation.
Spock like
We
be
must
like,
remain
Judgy
deferential
Jill,
whenever
Judgy James,
Of course,
slow
but
your roll a
even
little
that
bit.
has its limits.
I do like multiple camera angles, treating this like a show. Hi. You should probably do that too. Yeah, there you go. Bow? You schmuck? Yeah. Show deference. I want to be the one that, yeah, that I'm going to be friends with you to find out what's really going on. Solano showed strength because he's a jackass.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Hotari Prime.
The honor is mine.
They only
Your
got 3
Majesty.
fingers and a thumb instead
That the
of 4.
Federation would send one of their most
Evaluate
respected
the arguments.
representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Alydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced. But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
I get the sense she's cut from the same cloth as Galvin. I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
That's interesting.
No. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
Bleh?
She's not
She
part
can
of...
speak for herself, can't she? Then let her.
Oh, I get to say a thing. Hi. Oh, Why are you stepping right on up? You could have talked from where you were. Hello. I like your face jewelry.
What is your name?
My name's
Commander
Samantha.
Jara Rydek, Your Majesty.
Being a Kobliad, you would know better than anyone. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Alydians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Alydians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet!
Well, fine then.
If after all the Kobliad suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
Peace is always the better option. I would seek peace.
There is no remedy for what the Kobliad suffered. And I fear who we might have become in pursuit of it. There is no justice if the oppressed become the oppressor. So I would willingly accept a peaceful resolution if it were offered. That is the real opportunity.
Good answer. Spock liked that.
Perhaps, Commander Rydek. Perhaps.
She's got gravel on her chin.
Unfortunately, that was not the case, was it?
No.
No?
It was not.
Peace is often elusive to those who need it most.
Sure.
The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to secure a steady
just
supply.
like we said, they don't trust us.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace.
I mean, we are, but it
So why
it helps
are
us
you
out.
really here? I want the truth, not your Federation rhetoric.
It's not my place to say.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty, but it's really not my place to say what the Federation's interests might be.
You are their representative.
I am one of their
I am.
representatives.
But Ambassador Spock is better suited to address your concerns.
What they haven't said, but cannot...
Huh, they were both neutral about that.
The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without Alydian involvement.
That's
We
BS.
created it for the benefit of everyone.
The Federation can trade for the
Especially the
dilithium
Hotari.
directly with the Hotari.
We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
That is enough of your lies. The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. Don't tell me. Who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the
Don't
mines
put me.
all
I don't
around?
know.
Who should the
Are you trying to
Federation
mentally beam me the answer?
The Hotari or the Alydians?
We need to negotiate this. What?
Can only be one or the other.
Why?
Not both.
If I have to choose only one, then it would have to be the Hotari.
Well said. How could the just and wise Federation make
Federation
any
is a proper
other
noun.
choice?
This is an outrage. The Federation has lost all credibility.
Mines are ours. Alydia will not be deterred.
You made me pick one.
Take back our mines by any means
Then
necessary.
you will see more blood spilled.
This is
I am
going
more
well.
than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group.
Yeah.
Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
Perhaps.
I suppose there is some sense to that.
Yes, there is. Go have a conversation in a room that I'm not in.
I hope we meet again, Jara Ryder.
Sure. I hated that Hotari Alydian choice. I mean, it good narratively, but why did you make me pick one? I was gonna absolutely take
Spock
the
and
diplomatic.
I will cover
Like,
everything on the diplomatic
we need to
front.
suss this out.
You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers.
Okay,
we need to
so
find
the
out
Hotari
why
locals.
the Hotari are so willing to risk war.
Oh, them too.
What happened in those mines?
Okay. This, okay, because it's gonna let me walk around here, but now somehow we've been recording for another 40 minutes. Like, this is gonna be an interesting series. I feel like it's not gonna be very long. Just the way things are going. You can't push a narrative game that far. We'll see how long this is and how long this is going to be. I will say, and I'll throw this out here, believe it or not, I have the next game selected. I know what I'm going to play next. I found it the other day, and it works out perfectly, but I'll explain why another time. So we really haven't done that much, I think, but it is time to call this an episode. So that's going to do it for another episode of Star Trek Resurgence here on Orange Ranger Plays. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Down in the comments below, let me know what you thought of this episode. Hit the thumbs up button while you're down there to like this video. Let me know that you enjoyed it. You can subscribe to the channel to find out when I post videos. Set your notifications up by ringing the bell so you get notified whenever episodes of Star Trek Resurgence are posted. And if you'd like to support my channel in any way financially, check me out on Patreon, Ko-fi, or Teespring. Until next time, gamers, live long and prosper, and may the power protect you.
Terra firma, so to speak.
Ambassador Spock!